Welcome to another episode of Have You Seen It? I am Charles, and I am with my homegirl Denise. How you doing? Tell me how you doing.
I'm doing well.
I love you.
Thank you.
Very, very, very nice, right?
Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you, if you want good fashion tips, absolutely join our show because I'm pretty plain Jane, right? I'm not very colorful, right? You're not gonna see a lot of new stuff. But if you want to see some good fashion, right, some beautiful hairdos, right, and absolutely good makeup, right, then Denise is she's the one. She's the one.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind.
Denise, let's start this thing off, girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's your recommendation? Who's your recommendation to our audience?
Okay, I am recommending the movie Malcolm and Marie, starring John David Washington and Zendaya. And this movie is in black and white, which I did not know until I realized that there's no color in this movie. But, but it's a movie about a filmmaker um, named Malcolm, and he and his girlfriend have just come home after attending an award ceremony where he won an award and received, lots of praise and accolades and so forth. So when they get home, he's still on that high. So he's just, reliving the moment and everything everybody said to him and every picture that was taken and so forth. But he notices that Marie is, kind of feeling some kind of way, and he's just going on and on and on. And he's like, what's up? What, something wrong? And at first she kind of blows him off like, no, nothing's wrong. And he keeps asking her. And then she finally says that you didn't thank me in your acceptance speech. So that is the spark that had the rest of the evening lit. She voiced her, concerns about being left out of a movie that she felt she had a role in terms of the creativity. And so they go back and forth and back and forth. And then there's a lull of kind of lovey-dovey makeup, kiss, have a cigarette. Then he explodes because he has some issues about something she did or said. And then you have this lull of kissy makeup, cigarettes. Then she explodes. So the movie literally goes back and forth with this couple unpacking years of pent in emotions, frustrations, conversations that were never had, things that weren't said, things that were misinterpreted or misunderstood. And this literally goes on for hours. And I tell you, from a viewer's standpoint, I was exhausted at the end of I was tired because I know that there are people who have that type of toxicity in their relationships and they thrive on it.
Right,
I
right,
mean, how can you just argue about something every single day or keep something inside for years and years and then explode and then that erupts into something even bigger?
right. Absolutely.
So it was very well acted. Zendaya's range was enormous in that movie. And I would venture to think that she was physically and emotionally drained after filming it because it took a lot of emotion for both of them to play that role. So I recommend Malcolm and Marie. You might see yourself in either of the characters. You might see a Marie in yourself. You might see a Malcolm in yourself. You might see your relationship in that movie. So that is my recommendation, Malcolm and Marie.
So
And Netflix. I forgot to say that's a Netflix.
Netflix is a Netflix original.
Yes.
So my recommendation for this week is Homefront. Jason Statham, James Franco, Kate Bosworth, Frank Grillo, Casey Brown, Isabel Doka. It's a Staten movie. He's a star. And he's playing Phil Broker. He's a DEA agent who is taking down a biker gang who is in the drug running business. While taking this gang down, his cover's blown because he ended up killing. He had to end up killing the leader's brother. Right. So 2 years later, he's a widower, and him and his daughter, and he's retired. He's retired from the DEA. He's a widower, and him and his daughter have decided to move back to his wife's hometown, which is a small town in Louisiana. Right. So Gator is the local drug dealer, right, in the town. And so Gator finds out that Phil was the DEA agent 2 years ago that basically broke up this biker gang. And he is looking for a way to distribute more of his drugs. So he's like, man, if I give Phil to these guys, right, maybe they'll go ahead and distribute my drugs. So he does that. They end up kidnapping kidnapping Phil's daughter, Maggie, and then all heck breaks loose from there. My recommendation, and it's on Netflix, is Homefront. And so, who is your nailed it?
My nailed it is my man Samuel L. Jackson as Gator in Jungle Fever. Before I had seen that movie, I had no idea what a crackhead was or what they.
I hope you didn't know what a crack.
I had no idea how they behaved. I didn't know. I just knew they were out there.
Right.
But when this man hit the scene and he was in his crackhead moments, I believe that he was really a crackhead. I was convinced. And to me, Samuel L. Jackson as Gator was the blueprint for how a crackhead was living at that time. Samuel L. Jackson as a crackhead. And he didn't need a whole lot of research because we know that Sam is a former substance abuser. Mm-hmm. And so he had a lot of knowledge on how a crackhead lives their lives.
My nailed it is Julia Roberts as Maggie Carpenter in The Runaway Bride. This was her second time being with
Richard Gere.
Richard Gere. Outwardly, she seemed fine, but internally, her life was a mess. All right, and she ends up by the end of the movie getting herself together. But before that, it was hilarious getting to that point. So my nailed it is Julia Roberts as Maggie Carpenter in The Runaway Bride.
All right, folks, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And we are available on every podcast platform in the universe. Just type in, "Have you seen it?" with Charles and Denise, and there we will be.
Audience, thank you very much for joining us again on another episode of Have You Seen It with Charles and Denise. And we are out.
Bye-bye.